welcome to Darkestic's cooking show! It's me, Darkestic. Today I am dressed as my character Joker, which is a female version of the Joker, which I have designed the dress and all that for today. I will show you at the end of the video. Today we are going to learn how to make tea biscuits. This is going to be a cooking show to show cosplayers and others how to cook on a budget and what to make, from Asian food to comfort, southern, all of it. I'm going to show you from scratch how to make it all, and then and then once in a while we will go on an adventure on where to go, like around Vancouver and to anime cons. I personally love anime cons and anything related to cosplaying and anime and going around dressed up as my DC characters, anime, video games, and I will be showing progress pictures of cosplays that I'm currently making. Anyway, today let's get working on tea biscuits! Okay, so what you will need is 2 cups of flour, 4.5 teaspoons of baking powder, half a teaspoon of salt, 4 tablespoons of shortening, and you will need 1 cup of milk or water. And that will be all you need to make tea biscuits. Now you push this off to the side, and what you will do first is add your dry ingredients. Your 4.5 teaspoons of baking powder, your half a teaspoon of salt, if it wants to come out. Make sure it gets in there. And now you mix it up. Make sure it gets nice and mixed together, because you don't want to add the shortening in there and get lumps of baking powder and then some biscuits don't turn out right. So just mix it a little bit. And that should be mixed just like that. Next, you will add the shortening. Now, the shortening is a bit weird. It does feel oily, greasy, but after this you do wash your hands. You always wash your hands before and after you start baking and finish baking. Now you take this, you drop it on in there. Now what you do is, you can do this with a fork, but it's a little easier to do with your hands. Now you're just going to crumble this in there. What you want is this to be nice and crumbly. Mix all with this flour. Makes it a lot more fun as well if you're working with other people, but you want it to be all nice and incorporated. It will look all crumbly as you mix it up. And you just keep going and going and going, and then just make sure there's no big lumps of shortening right in there, and you'll be all good. Because if you already mixed up your dry ingredients, then everything should be just fine. And this is all good. So what you do is you clean off your hands like so. Rub it. Now that you incorporated everything, the flour, the baking powder, the salt, and the shortening, you need to make sure like all of it's done. And then you got to make sure all of that's mixed before you do anything. And then what you do is you make a little well like that, and then you're going to add your cup of water. I like to add it a half a cup at a time and just mix it as we go, or a little bit at a time. Now you can use a fork with this, but it will get really stiff really quick. This is going to be a dough you will have to knead, but it won't be very much kneading. As you can tell, it starts to incorporate really nicely. Now about now is when you can add like cheddar, like you'd add half a cup of cheddar, or maybe some like rosemary or something that you'd like to be inside your tea biscuits. And yes, your hands will get gunky, so I do suggest wearing like an apron and hopefully not an all black cosplay. And now this is going to be the fun part. Now, I didn't tell you is that you're going to add flour to your surface, and then what you're going to do is, after that's done, you're going to get all that onto the table. And then you're just going to knead it. Not very much. And this is where you do want some flour on your hands. Just a little bit, so you will just add a little bit to your table and then just start folding and kneading. You do want to make sure your table is clean or your counter is clean when you do this, because this stuff will stick to everywhere. And you just sprinkle a little flour here and there. Just knead till you feel it get a little stiff. Not so sticky anymore. And you just roll. Push in, pull out. Push in, pull out. You're just going to do it like that. And now what you want is it to be like a nice ball, because you're going to have to roll this after. So just always have a little flour on hand on the side, because sometimes it tends to be a little stickier than normal. Now after you got some flour on your little rolling pin, you're going to roll this out like this. Don't push too hard, just enough, and make sure you get some flour on that, because it sometimes will stick. And no, I suggest not wearing nail polish or anything like fake nails while doing the baking aspects of this show, or any cooking, because if it falls in, that's something you really don't want to serve to guests. So you just sprinkle the leftover flour you have sprinkled around here. Never waste. This way it saves you on the flour expense of that. And that should be like that. Now what you will do is you will need this cup. I put this off to the side and you saw it earlier in the video. I did forget to mention you need a cup that's about 3 inches wide or something, or ceramic, or you can use a cookie cutter and you just go like that and the biscuits will come out just like that. And you just keep going around. Preferably something with a hole in the top, so that way it's able to like breathe and you don't have to stick your fingers in there to get the biscuits out. Now this will make more than you're seeing right here, as you can tell, and then you just go like this. Gently take away any biscuits that will get stuck. And then you can just set them off to the side, like so. Then you do it all over again. Give it a few little kneads, just like this. Put some of that flour onto your rolling pin all over again, and then just roll. Now, the ingredients I used to make this was inexpensive. It only cost, I'd say, around, for all the ingredients that would cost extra even to go throughout this cooking show, I think it would cost around like maybe $5, maybe about $3 to make this entire set of biscuits. Maybe even less if there's a good sale, because sometimes things are expensive. So what do? Cut the circle out. Cut the circle out. Cut the circle. And you just continue on till you have all your biscuits. Now what you will need is a baking pan, one large enough to hold everything, as you can tell. You can use oil for the bottom of the pan, or you can use a cookie wax paper sheet which works well and it stops things from sticking and it does not ruin your pans. Now what you will do is you will set the biscuits a little apart so that way they have time to grow. I tend to set them like a dice effect. This will make about 9 or 10 of them, depending on how thick or how wide you cut your biscuit dough. And you will continue to just put them on like a domino effect, just like that. And your oven needs to be preheated between 320 and 350. My oven runs a little higher than most people's, so my oven's set at 325. And you just sit them there, and then what you'll do is you pop them in the oven. You'll put them in the oven for up to 12 to 15 minutes. Make sure your oven is preheated. And then you'll close it, and you set yourself a timer for 12 to 15 minutes. Okay, everybody, now you pulled your biscuits out of the oven, and the first thing you do before you do anything, before you grab that hot pan, please use an oven mitt. It will burn to pull these out of the oven. Now what you want is your biscuits to be golden brown or nice and fluffy in the center. You want no raw dough at all. But what you get is this nice steaming hot biscuit. And they're so delicious to serve with soup, or you can do them with breakfast or dinner, anything. You can even have them as a snack for while you're making your cosplays or even while doing work. They're great for on the go, but also you can serve them with anything you wish. You can put peanut butter and jelly on them, and trust me, they are delicious with some peanut butter and jelly on them. Or some honey. Anyway. This will keep for a couple days, so you put them in a Ziploc bag. They should last you about 3 to 4 days, depending on how many you eat. If you eat them by yourself, just do make sure to check them every now and again. And this is a simple recipe, so this is the first episode of the Darkestic cooking show. I hope you do enjoy cooking, as I will show you more episodes on how to cook other things. And I will be doing shows where I make stuff from anime, such as Howl's Moving Castle, Ponyo, or I'll do Sailor Moon, some dongos. And I'll do some steam buns, I'll do pot stickers, I'll do all sorts of things, even from video games such as Final Fantasy 15. Anyway, have a lovely day. This has been Darkestic's Cooking Show. I'll look forward to seeing you next week. Anyway, I'll be with a new cosplay. Have fun!